Another sport where it rides with the competitors all the way, the bobsleigh, which gets underway here at the Olympics tomorrow. Australia, of course, represented for the first time in this event by our very own team. The boys who trained so hard in a land where they had no snow, training sessions being carried out in a car park of a Sydney shopping centre. Darrel Eastlake talks to the Aussie bobbers, truly little Aussie battlers.
A $50 run down the ritzy San Moritz Bob Run fueled a burning desire with Adrian de Piazza to form the first ever bobsled association in Australia. Several sorties to Europe with Stephen Craig competing in the two-man bob was just the appetizer required to return home and form a five-man full-time team. They trained in car parks in a homemade sled. Mike Gibson told their tale, the Toyota company came to their aid, and the road to Calgary became a reality. Since arriving in Europe, the Aussie bobbers have tasted the thrills and spills of what makes bobsledding such an amazing Olympic event.
Well, Adrian, we don't know too much about what's happened since you left home, but there's certainly been some experiences for you and the team.
Yeah, we've been to 5 or 6 major races through Europe over the last 3 months, which has been the build-up for the Games. The whole idea of that was to get used to the new sleds, which Toyota provided for us, and, you know, to get competitive in the season, to learn a few things, learn a few new things, and put it all together here at the Games.
OK, Steve, probably the greatest experience you've had since you left home.
Well, actually, last week we competing in the European Championships in Sarajevo, and we finished 12th out of a field of 18, which is a great lead up to the Games, and we were really happy with that result.
Angus, I noticed a few scrapes and a few dents on the new sled, so you've been obviously having a go.
Yeah, we've been having a go. We're just getting used to the sleds now, and yeah, we've tuned them pretty nicely, so hopefully we'll go OK here.
All right, the big bloke in the team, Martin, Sarajevo, was a pretty rough hill for you?
Yeah, it was. It was the quickest we've been on, and we went over a bit and got a bit bruised up, but that's part of the sport.
All right, let me ask you this now. Now that you're sort of getting into this sport and you really are becoming part of it now, is there a time when you get a bit scared?
Seems to happen too quick to get scared, but like when you're preparing at the top, yeah, you think, well, you might be going over again, but once you're there and you're set, you don't think about that.
What's the toughest part of any race for you?
Going down the track probably after you've just crashed. So it's pretty hard. You have to say, forget about that and just keep going. Otherwise, it sucks you out. So that's probably the hardest.
What about these starts, these incredible starts we hear about that the Europeans have perfected? How good are your starts getting now?
Well, we've probably picked up about 4 tenths on last year's start, so we're probably 3 or 4 tenths behind the top ones, and we're really happy with that. We've put in a lot of work in the off-season, really a lot of gym work, a lot of sprint work, and it's paid off for us, I think. So we're looking for some good start times here in Calgary.
Adrian, they're starting to take you seriously now, some of these other countries. I mean, I know it was all a bit of fun to start with, but has it changed?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, everybody was sort of saying, oh, the Aussies are here, what are they doing here? But this year we came over, we got some new sleds, some good equipment, and we put the last 2 years' learning experience into those new sleds, and we started to get some good down times. And, finishing 12th in a major race like the European Championships, I think shocked a few people. And some of our earlier results, we were only 1 or 2 places off the Italians, off the Brits. They're experienced nations. We knocked off a couple of the Swiss and the Soviet sleds when they crashed, and stuff like that. It's we're starting to climb up the ladder in the sport, which is good for Australia.
Battlers they may be, dedicated they must be. The truth is, these young Australians picked up an Olympic challenge few would chase. The fact that they are here is an achievement in itself. Whilst the boys get themselves into shape, a volunteer Canadian is preparing the sleds in the competition Aussie war paint.
And then on top of the green, if we could have a thin white stripe, possibly about ½ an inch, ¼ of an inch thick, again running the full length, sort of tapering right back to here. Following it all the way along.
With the sleds resplendent in our national colours of green and gold, the Aussies had their first chance at Olympic competition yesterday.
This is Australia's 2 on the course at 50 meters, 5.82 seconds. This is Australia's 2.
Their times of 60 seconds dead and a 60.9 are very competitive, about 1.5 seconds off the top pace. A lot to make up to win a medal, but it does put our bobbers in the best half of the field. The hill doesn't frighten them. The Olympic adrenaline is driving them, and the yellow sleds are getting quite a following in Calgary.
Australia 1 at 50 meters, 5.77 seconds.
So ride with them, Australia. They have already done us proud.
Yes, tomorrow night, and isn't that a dream come true?
Here at Canada Park for the first day of the bobsled run, and a huge crowd has turned out and lined the track.